Alright, it's the gut punching, girl taking, never shaking, HAWK, all night all day, except on Sundays when I make your girl spray. It's been a very long time since I've covered an episode of Feud on this channel. It's not that I had an issue with that series, I've just got so many series going on right now. This was the show where we watch back all the promos and matches from a feud, pretty simple. But there was one video in particular that has continued to be requested, and eventually it got through to me, just like a punch to the gut when you're wearing a winter jacket. The video that was requested is the Chris Benoit Booker T feud. People speak very positively about this one, it was one of the highlights of the show at the time. So let's find out, because the video you all wanted to see was the Booker T Chris Benoit feud in WCW. What? That's what you wanted to see, wasn't it? Okay, it turns out they had two separate feuds, one in WCW and one in the WWF. So we should make two videos and find out which one's best. And this one's for the ladies that's watching me. Who's ready to be screwed? It's time for an episode of Feud. So the feud has a pretty low-key start, they're just smashed together in a ring in a random match. It's an episode of Nitro from March 1998. At the time, Booker's the World Television Champion and he takes on Chris Benoit. Benoit and Booker T feel each other out in the beginning. Big chops from Benoit as he begins to stomp a mud hole into Booker T. Booker T reverses an Irish whip which causes Benoit to get the upper hand, which Booker then reverses into a power slam. Benoit and Booker T have a test of power right before Booker T delivers a big super kick. Booker T goes for a Harlem sidekick, but Benoit holds the rope, and then they have a weird scrum where they don't really know what to grapple next. Benoit has a word of himself and delivers a big German suplex. Now he delivers a big back elbow for a 2 count. Tony Schiavone is making a big deal out about Roddy Piper returning to the ring tonight. I guess this match isn't important then. Benoit gives Booker T 2 big chops on the ropes before Booker reverses it into a flapjack, a spin-a-rooney, and then the Harlem sidekick. Benoit knows he's about to lose and he panics, he puts Booker T on the top turnbuckle. Benoit delivers a big superplex to Booker for the double down. Now it's a huge trifecta of German suplexes for Chris Benoit, but Benoit might be done as he collapses to the mat. Booker T's in the driving seat as they get back up and he delivers a big cab driver slam, a cab driver slam, but Schiavone on commentary calls it a sidewalk slam. How the hell do you mix that up? Hasn't he seen any of David Young's matches? Booker only gets a 2 off the sidewalk slam. Booker goes for the kick for the 3rd time in this match, but Benoit moves and Booker T nuts himself again. Benoit and Booker exchange blows as the bell rings. There's confusion for a second, but the TV time limit for the match has expired, and they say 10 minutes is the time limit. The match only went 7.5 minutes, so I guess this was just a way to set up the rivalry, even if it was sloppily done. Their second match takes place on Nitro again, and again it's for the World TV Championship. Benoit and Booker start with a test of power, pushing each other into the ropes and turnbuckles until the ref breaks it up. Chris Benoit is able to manipulate the test of power into an arm scissors and a push into a pin for a 2. Benoit chops the hell out of Booker, not once, not twice, but thrice, and it sure wasn't nice. Again, Booker hits a cab driver slam on Benoit, and Schiavone calls it a sidewalk slam. Booker T moves on to deliver a stiff back elbow to Benoit and begins to stomp on his chest. Benoit tries to fight back and tosses Booker into the turnbuckle and rebounds with a German suplex. Now Chris Benoit hits a drop toe hold on Booker. This match is starting to get good. Chris Benoit hits a sidewalk backbreaker on Booker for a 2. Benoit moves on to the submission game and holds a modified surfboard stretch on Booker for a little bit, but Benoit decides to just give up on that and lifts him up for a back suplex. Chris Benoit goes for the pinfall, but Booker T gets his foot on the rope at 2. Benoit hits the trifecta of Germans. Wait, no, Booker counters before the last German can be delivered, and Booker takes him and Chris out with a double crossbody for the double down. Booker delivers a back suplex, and just right after a spin-a-rooney, he delivers the Harlem sidekick on Benoit. Booker's looking to deliver the Harlem hangover, but Benoit stops him. Chris Benoit then gets on the top turnbuckle and he's going for a superplex, but Booker T fights back. Booker attempts the missile dropkick, but Benoit counters that into the crossface. Booker quickly gets a rope break. Booker and Benoit deliver some more stiff shots, but then the bell rings and they continue fighting. The fans chant bullshit. I don't blame them. Again, the TV time limit is expired, and Booker retains the TV title by draw twice in a row against Benoit. Match 3 takes place at Spring Stampede 1998. It's a no time limit match for the WCW World TV Championship. It's already heated as these two have lots of pent up aggression leading into the match. They have to be broken up by the referee again. Benoit retreats out the ring after a shoulder block. There's a cool combination of reversals as Benoit is reversed by Booker T with an Irish whip, which Benoit then delivers into a baseball slide where Booker throws the Harlem sidekick but ducks and takes down Booker with the drop toe hold. Try saying that 3 times after you've just had a pint of milk. Booker nails the Harlem sidekick, which again sends Benoit to the outside. Booker counters a hip toss into a huge lariat, but he only gets a 2 count. Benoit then gets fired up and stomps on Booker T in the corner. Booker T delivers a sidewalk backbreaker for a 2. Benoit then drapes Booker T over the top rope, which leads to a right hand from Benoit, sending Booker to the outside. Benoit delivers a snap suplex. That looks like Booker got dropped on his head. It's still a 2. This match is honestly slower than their first 2 encounters, as most of the match is spent outside the ring. Give them as much time as they want, and they'll waste it. Benoit's dropkick gets reversed, but Benoit is able to bounce back with a drop toe hold. He now looks to go for the diving headbutt and nails it. He's on the verge of picking up the win, but Booker gets his foot on the rope. They exchange suplexes and pinfalls for the next minute and a half. We're then informed that we have passed the time limit, which is completely irrelevant. Thanks for that, you brain surgeon. Benoit nails the trifecta of Germans. He puts Booker on the top rope and looks to deliver a back suplex off the top, which he lands, but Benoit hurts his head on the way down, and he can't get the pinfall. Benoit goes for the pin, but Booker kicks out at 2. Booker fights back now with the sidewalk slam, again. Big flying forearm for Booker knocks down Benoit before he slams him down for a flapjack and a spinneroonie for style. Booker's going to deliver the axe kick, but Benoit pulls the ref in front of him, and there's a ref bump. Chris Benoit locks in the crippler crossface on Booker, but there's a debate about if Booker tapped, even though it's obvious that he didn't. He grabs the rope to break it up. As Benoit pulls the ref up, Booker hits the Harlem sidekick on Benoit, and that is the 3. Booker retains the WCW World TV title. So you'd think that was all over with them. No. On April 30th, 1998, Chris Benoit would win the WCW TV Championship at a live event from Booker. The title would then go on to change hands 5 times in 5 days, ending with Fit Finlay winning the title. Whoever came up with this one must have been on every type of drug possible. Plus A still. The 4th match is again on Nitro. It's Booker versus Benoit with no title on the line, so I guess they're going lower down the card now. Booker T's pyro went crazy for this entrance. He's really over with the crowd. Booker and Chris Benoit immediately start brawling, which gives Benoit the upper hand with stomps in the corner. Booker T counters Benoit to start grappling with an arm trap superkick. Booker T then throws Benoit overhead with a back body drop, and then soon after a military press into a slam. Benoit ducks a follow-up lariat from Booker and delivers a German. But no, this match is back and forth as Booker T with a snap power slam out the corner. Booker T tries to attack Benoit again with the Harlem sidekick, but Benoit moves and Booker lands on his nutsack again. Booker fights off a German suplex, but Benoit counters with a back suplex. He then connects with his diving headbutt, which is only a 2 count. It's not looking good for Booker, but then he dodges a back elbow and nails the axe kick on Benoit. Booker doesn't go for a pin. Booker nails a sidewalk slam apparently. Booker decides to move on to go for the Harlem sidekick, but Benoit pulls the ref in front of him. This allows Benoit to lock on the crossface, and Booker T taps out. Chris Benoit's finally beaten him. The 5th match is also on Nitro. We're in May 1998 now, and this is the start of what we call the Number 1 Contenders Best of 7 series. They mention on commentary how this rivalry was built on respect, even though I don't think they've had one showing of it yet. Booker shoves Benoit to begin the match. Loud ass chop from Benoit and Booker in the corner, who counters with a back body drop and an elbow, which causes Benoit to retreat outside the ring. Benoit goes for a German, but Booker rolls through for a 2, and a lariat that makes Benoit leave the ring again. Booker counters a crossface attempt into an arm trap superkick. I never know what to call that move. Chris Benoit hangs Booker up on the ropes again. Lots of chops, pinfalls and rest holds for a little bit. Heenan on commentary keeps making different bets about how many matches these two are going to have. The match heats back up when Benoit hits a sidewalk backbreaker for a 2. Chris Benoit misses the diving headbutt as the WCW TV champion Fit Finlay comes to watch the match. Booker T delivers another cab driver slam. Soon after, he delivers the flapjack into a spinneroonie. Benoit ducks a Harlem sidekick, and Booker ducks a clothesline. Benoit ducks a kick again and tries to go for a German, but Benoit almost delivers a back suplex. That almost looked like a botch. This then sets Booker up for the axe kick. Sweet combination. That was fun to see. Booker then does a move that Shivani describes as the side salt. Unfortunately, Booker misses the Harlem hangover, which then leads to the double down. Benoit gets a 2 count. Chris Benoit then locks in the crossface on Booker and makes him tap out to pick up the very first win in this actual series. Their 6th match against each other and the 2nd of this series is jumping over to Thunder for the first time. We start out with no one getting an entrance. I should mention that the winner of this series will get to challenge Fit Finlay at the Great American Bash for the WCW TV title. Back and forth grappling for a bit from both guys. Benoit then gets dropped with a snap power slam from Booker off the ropes, which is followed with an elbow and a 1 count. Booker nails a botched Harlem sidekick into a super kick, which then leads Booker to delivering an axe handle to the outside. Benoit drives Booker into the corner for a 2. We get a mid-air collision from a double crossbody again. Chris Benoit drops Booker with a sidewalk backbreaker. He climbs up to the top and delivers the diving headbutt. It takes a second, but Benoit goes for the pin. Booker kicks out at 2. Booker T fires up and delivers the axe kick, which leads to both men being on the mat. Booker rolls Benoit over, but he only gets a 2 count. Booker T then gets caught up on the ropes again, but it looks like Benoit doesn't even move. Booker just somehow missed. Should have gone Specsavers, mate. Benoit nails a German suplex and bridges for a 2 count. Booker pulls Benoit in for a cab driver slam, and that sets up Booker to deliver a back suplex. He misses the Harlem sidekick, which Benoit reverses, but then Booker actually manages to land the kick anyway. He nails Benoit with the missile dropkick just to add insult to injury, and that is the win. We're now tied at 1 apiece in this series. Benoit then gets on the mic and questions Booker T's guts. Mark my words, by the end of this you'll know why they call me the Crippler. Good to hear someone finally talking in this feud. Probably the only thing that's been letting it down. Match 7 is on Saturday night, so it really is falling lower down the card. They say that Benoit wants to win the title for the very first time, but Benoit has had 2 untelevised TV title victories. But okay, let's pretend they didn't happen. Benoit and Booker start hot for match 3, exchanging blows. I was correct in my statement as the commentary mentions how much respect they don't have for each other. Some chain wrestling occurs for a little bit until Booker T counters with the arm track super kick for a 2 count. Booker nails a sidewalk backbreaker, not once, but twice. I bet you thought a third one was coming there. You could shove it. Booker works the arm for the next bit of the match until Benoit gets back to his feet, which then ends up with Booker T falling on his nutsack on the ropes to the outside. Benoit nails Booker with a back body drop for a 2 count. Chris Benoit tries to go for a German, but then manoeuvres into a back suplex, and then off he goes to deliver the diving headbutt. But he misses it, and we're now at a double down. Booker T flips out the crossface, and Benoit then gives Booker a German and gets the 3. Benoit is now up 2-1. Can't believe someone won with a German, that doesn't happen very often. Okay, we've moved back over to Nitro now for the 4th match in the 7-match series. Booker T starts out wailing on Benoit with right hands and a shoulder block into a 1 count. Fit Finlay comes out to ring and says both men aren't ready for him. Booker delivers a sidewalk slam and climbs up to the top rope and delivers a crossbody, which sends Benoit to the outside. Benoit gives Booker a hell of a lot of boots in the corner. He's unhinged. The camera misses a Harlem sidekick because it was too busy watching Fit Finlay run his mouth on the stage. Booker delivers a flying forearm for a 2 on Benoit. Benoit is able to duck the Harlem sidekick and delivers a big German suplex. Booker then delivers the axe kick to Chris Benoit, but wastes a lot of time. He eventually hits a big back suplex. Booker tries to give Benoit another suplex, but Benoit rolls him into the crippler crossface for the tap out win. Benoit is 3-1 up now. The 5th match of the series will be over on Thunder. Some chain wrestling and a big suplex from Booker T to start the match. Booker nails the axe kick fairly early in the match to put it away, but Benoit gets the shoulder up. Booker's been dominating this one until Benoit is able to hit the trifecta of German suplexes, which leads to a double down. Benoit gets the crowd pumped up after a clothesline and a diving headbutt, which connects on Booker T. Stevie Ray's now at ringside as Booker T kicks out at 2. Benoit tries to lock in the crossface, but Booker gets a rope break. Stevie Ray shouts at Booker to give him some motivation, which works because he hits a big Harlem sidekick on Benoit. Booker then nails a spinebuster and a flapjack into the spinneroonie, but he does another one mid-air after a big clothesline from Chris Benoit. Benoit tosses him over the top rope, which leads to Booker T nailing the missile dropkick for the 3. It's now 3-2 to Benoit. Getting towards the end of the series now, it's the 6th match in the series. We're over on Nitro. The match starts out slow as some shoving and a long-ass stare down between the two. The crowd are fully behind Booker T in the match as he delivers a big pump handle slam on Benoit, not a move I'd normally associate with Booker. Benoit gets Irish whip, but he pulls the rope down and Booker botches the crossbody on the ropes. Benoit sends Booker to the outside with a rope suplex. Shivani says that this match is the most competitive in this entire series, which might be a complete opposite statement. Benoit hits the flying headbutt and crawls over for the pin, but Booker T gets his foot on the rope. Stevie Ray now runs down to the ring to support Booker T. Stevie Ray then pulls Booker out of the ring to wake him up, which just leads to Benoit getting the upper hand. Booker T gets fired up, but Benoit counters into a German suplex for a 2. Booker hits a cool combination which ends with a Harlem sidekick. He then drops Benoit with a flapjack and a spinneroonie, but Benoit throws Booker into the middle turnbuckle, hard. Booker T connects with an up and over on Benoit and a sunset flip for the 3. It's now tied at 3 apiece as we enter sudden death. Chris Benoit kicks Booker T's legs out from under him and Stevie Ray gets in the ring about to fight Benoit. Chris Benoit dumps in his nappy of fear and Stevie Ray celebrates Booker's win with him in the ring. Okay, so we're on to the decider. They've put it on Thunder. Why? Back and forth grappling from both men, which ends with a Harlem sidekick, which sends Booker to the outside. Benoit starts targeting the legs. We go to a commercial break. When we come back, Benoit delivers an Irish whip, but Booker T's leg gives out in the corner. Booker counters a dragon screw into a big enziguri that knocks both men down. Benoit chops Booker down to the mat for a 2 count. He's not done though, and he hangs Booker T up in a tree of woe position, and he attacks the injured leg of Booker T more. Bret Hart and Elvis are looking to recruit into the Wolfpack, and they're on the stage, they're watching on. Benoit locks in a Mutalock, which he then beautifully transitions into a reverse Romario special. At least it's getting a lot of time dedicated to it. When we come back, Benoit nails the triple German suplex, but Booker T kicks out too. Benoit goes up to the top rope and delivers the flying headbutt for yet another 2. Bret Hart decides to make his way to the ring and he hits Booker T in the back of the head with a chair. What a dick. The ref notices and starts counting as Booker T does not move and Benoit stops the referee from counting, but Booker T actually wins this match by DQ. So apparently Booker T's won the series. But wait. Later in the night, WCW management believe that this is a tragedy to have the series end in this way. And they're right. Booker T comes out to Stevie Ray and he gives his thought on the win. Booker says that Benoit is the best wrestler he's ever been in the ring with and he has more respect for him than any man. Whilst Booker T's brother Stevie Ray dumps in his nappy of anger. Booker wants to run it back one last time, but it's agreed that Chris Benoit will face Booker T in the sudden deathmatch series at the Great American Bash pay-per-view. and they will be able to challenge for the WCW title that same night. So here we go, it's match 12 that we've actually had between the two. This is the Great American Bash. The match starts out with some aggressive chain wrestling, a lot of tension here as both men really want that WCW TV title shot. It's a lot of strikes and grappling in the early going. Benoit smacks the sweat off Booker T's chest. Benoit hits a back suplex and rolls Booker over for the 2. Benoit works a headlock for a while until Booker gets up, and after a duck down and a leapfrog, Benoit chops Booker down and gets a 2 count. Booker T uses his own body weight to get a pin off Benoit's back suplex, but it's just a 2. Chris Benoit moves on to drape Booker T across the rope with a suplex and a right hand to send Booker to the outside. Not long after this, Benoit locks in a surfboard stretch as Booker T dumps in his nappy of fear. Booker fights his way up and delivers a power slam. Booker T goes for the crossbody, but Benoit moves out of the way. Chris Benoit tries to lock in the crossface, but Booker gets a rope break immediately. Booker's getting all hyped up now and he catches Benoit on the side of the head with an enziguri. Booker T delivers the cab driver slam and screams to the crowd as he follows up with the flapjackaroonie. Booker looks for the missile dropkick, but Benoit stops him and delivers a huge superplex to the double down. Chris Benoit locks his arms and goes for the triple German, but Booker T tries to give him one of his own, and out of nowhere, Chris Benoit nails a dragon suplex for a 2. Gotta love that move. Benoit again slaps the sweat off Booker T's chest. Booker tries to deliver a sunset flip, but Benoit knows better and knocks him down. Chris Benoit climbs the ropes and gives Booker T the flying headbutt. Benoit's struggling to get the pin, but when he does, it's just a 2. He took too long. That's not something I ever hear when I take off your girl's thong. Booker tosses Benoit into the turnbuckle and delivers the Harlem sidekick once to the back and once to the front. Booker has the full advantage now and he climbs to the top to hit the missile dropkick. Benoit is unable to kick out. He's beaten. Booker T has won the Best of 7 series and will now challenge Fit Finlay later tonight for the WCW TV Championship. Kinda lame that after all that it's like, congratulations, you've just won a huge series and now you get to fight Fit Finlay. Hasn't he done enough to earn the belt by itself at this point? Well, later that night, Booker T would compete, and after some motivation from Stevie Ray, he was able to pick up the win over Fit Finlay and become the champion. Definitely well earned from the eyes of the fans of WCW's booking. Many people credit this feud as the one that made them fall in love with professional wrestling, and I can see why. No silly stuff really, just two badasses killing each other night in and night out. It's a wonder they don't do this sort of thing anymore. I really enjoyed this, and I hope you did too, and if you don't agree with that, I won't wish a happy Christmas to you.